Okay, this is a video on learning the piano keys for the very beginner, and then improvising on them so that the very young have an opportunity to be creative as well as learning something. Okay, first of all, we've got a group of 2 black notes, then 3 black notes, 2 and 3. Beginners can play only the 2 up and down the piano, and then only the 3s up and down the piano, the whole length. Okay, so now they get acquainted with the fact that there are groups of 2 and 3 black keys. Okay, now, the 2 black keys we can call a doghouse because D is a dog in the doghouse. So the beginner can play all the D's on the piano, all the way up, all the way down. D. Well, the keyboard goes alphabetically, A, B, C, D, E. So C, D, and E are the 3 white notes around those around those 2 black keys. We got D located as being in between the 2 black keys because that's the dog in the doghouse. The C is outside the doghouse because that's the cat. And the dog does not want the cat in his doghouse. So the C's. Then the beginner can play all of the C's on the piano up and down. A, B, C, D, E. E is on top of the 2 black keys. We'll call him the elephant. He's too big to be in the doghouse, so he has to sit on top of the 2 black keys, that being up, that being down, because those sound low, down, and these sound up, higher. So now we have C, D, and E. C is the cat outside the doghouse, D is the dog in the doghouse, D. E is sitting on top of the doghouse, E, elephant. Now we have 3 black keys. A, B, C, D, E, F. Alright, F above E. A, B, C, C, D, E, F. And F is on the bottom of 3 black keys, and we can call the 3 black keys a barn. And the F is outside the barn, because foxes eat chickens, and we don't want the fox in the barn eating the chickens. Okay? And on top of the barn, we have B, the bat. Well, bats fly. Sure, you could find a bat on top of a barn, because they fly. So you got F outside the barn, because they don't want the foxes eating chickens. And B, Lucy, stop it. The barn on the B on top of the barn, the bat. Okay, G is either, you can figure it as in between the bottom 2 of the 3 or on the bottom of the middle black note. So either in between the bottom 2 or on the bottom of the middle black note. And you play all these keys. First of all the middle, or you go this way, all up and down the keyboard. The musical alphabet goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's it. Let's do it this way. Okay, 7 different notes in the musical alphabet. You don't go H, I, J. So G is the last letter of the alphabet. Well, the next note will be the next key, starting the alphabet again from A. A is in the middle of the upper 2 black keys or on top of the middle black note. Also, A is on top of G because G is the last letter of the musical alphabet. A is the first letter. And you figure G, we'll call it the goat. The goat because it's inside the barn, okay? Sure. And on top of the goat you just might find an ant if you look carefully in his fur. So the goat and the ant together. Then the F, the fox, and the bat. Okay, so now we have, and of course you play all these notes up and down to get well acquainted with them. Okay. The next thing is to just spell the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You're going to start with the ant and end with the G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you do that up and down the keyboard. And now down the keyboard, A, the next note down is the top of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, and so on and so on. So you get acquainted with the alphabet. We're not showing the entire keyboard here, so when you have a complete, or whatever keyboard you have, take it as far as you can with each of the white keys. We don't cover the black keys yet, but the black keys help us to find the white keys, the dog and the barn. Okay. Now music moves from one place to another. And, for instance, let's say C, then you got E. Well, how do you get to E? Well, by playing the key on top of the two black keys. And C is on the bottom of the two black keys, on top of on the bottom of the doghouse and on top of the doghouse, the C and the E. Well, how do you get from C to E? Well, that way, that's easy. How else can you do it? One note after another, C to E, alphabetically. How else can you do it? Well, how about the black note just on the bottom part of the E and going on up to the half step? So C. Well, isn't that sort of an interesting sound? How about the half step above E to get to E? So then we go from the fox to the elephant. But the main thing is that F is a half step above E, and the black note is a half step below E. Half step meaning the very closest note possible. How do you get to C? Well, two black notes, there's C. How else can you get to C? How about the note below C? Well, that's the bat. The basic thing is it's just the half step below C. How else can you get to C? The black note. How about E to C? Down the alphabet, E, D, C, that's the alphabet. G, F, E, D, C, B, A. How about going this black note to this to C? Or the note the key just below C and up to C. Or two blacks and there's C. Doing this sort of thing a little bit creatively because you've got choices here. And improvisation is choices. So you get to C or you get to E or whatever by these various means. How do you get to D? Well, D is the dog in the doghouse. Well, there's the two black keys, there's D, the dog. That's how you get to D. How else can you get to D? Well, just play one of them. That black note on the bottom part of D, or on top of D. How do you get from C to D? Easy. How else? You still get to C, don't you? I mean to D, from C to D. Ooh, that's nice. How about E down to C? How about E to D? E. Now half step above E to E, half step above D, or you can call them just the next key. But we're moving this way. Now let's go from these keys up to these keys. How do you get from C to F? That's the cat to the fox. Oh, isn't that sort of pretty? From C up to F. How about C up to the elephant to the fox? That's sort of nice. How about this? That's sort of outlines the F. That's another very attractive sound. How about C to G? Just directly to the G. Remember, G is in the bottom of the middle black note in 3, or in between the bottom 2 of the black keys. And that's the last letter name of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that's it. Then we go to A. So C to G. C to G. See, the black key before G and the black key above G. That's how we get to G. Or we just go to C to G. That's another possibility. Or C to the fox to the G. Or to the A to G. Or half step. Choose any note at all, and how you get from one note to the next note. And you can go down, you know, A, for instance, down to E. Note the black note before E. Or to F, to E. There's just many ways to do this, and this is called making choices. It's also what it is being creative. Creative about how to get from one place to another while you're learning the keys on the piano. Then do the left hand. Alright, now you got D is the dog. 2 black notes, the dog. How do you get to C? Just direct. How else can you get to C? Well, the cat's on the bottom of the 2 black keys, which is we calling the doghouse. The cat's outside the doghouse. But D down to C. How about going down just below B, below the cat, which is the bat, into C? Well, isn't that sort of attractive? Or how about, and here again, you're outlining the C with 2 notes. E, do the same thing. F, G. You see, many keys, but this little figure here is sort of nice. Or there's 2 half steps getting. You get the black key before the bat, to the bat, and the bat to the cat. If you want to call it that way. But pretty soon you can do away with animals and just call keys by their letter names. But I think it's sort of fun to start off with animals. Everybody loves animals, and you can play around with the keys on the piano with the animals. The black keys, the names of the black keys we'll take up later. The important thing is to learn the keys on the piano. And I think this is one of the most enjoyable ways to do it. First of all, just straight. You know, D is the doghouse, C is on the outside the doghouse, E is sits on top of the doghouse, etc., etc. F is the fox, B is the bat, G and A is the goat with an ant in its fur on top of the goat and the ant. Above the middle black note, and below the middle black note, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and so on. So work with this because it's important for the very beginner to learn the keys on the piano. It's also important to learn that he can do something with them, that he can be creative, that he can make some interesting sounds this way. And you can say, well, how would I get from A to D? Well, then that beginner has to figure out, well, let's see, I can get to A this way, to D I can do this. Now, he may not be able to do that, but I think with teaching, you can give them examples. Well, there's A. I could get to A by this black note or this black note. And to D, I can get to D for this black note or this black note. So how would you like to get to A? Well, how about the other black note? How would you get to D? How about the black note in front of D? How do you like that sound? Isn't that sort of pretty? That sort of makes some music, doesn't it? I think it's this kind of thing that encourages listening and exercising one's power of choice is so important and so valuable for the very, very beginner. Then you can go ahead and learn, pieces. In the John Thompson, he goes, that kind of thing. So, how do you get from each one of those notes? How about this? Now, there was a little bit of improvisation. I didn't plan that, but you have these notes, and you do various things with leading into each of these notes by the very next note be below or above, whether it's a white note or a black note. These things can be so entertaining for one thing, especially for the beginner, that he's got something to work with, Well, how about F to A? Well, there's the fox, there's the ant. F, G, the goat, and then the ant. Ooh, half step, then outline it. No, top to bottom, then the note itself. That's such an attractive little figure, anywhere you have it. If you're going to E. Very, very attractive, and all of a sudden you're making music. And you do the same thing in the left hand. B up to F. And B to C. The cat. Working, this can be such an enjoyable kind of a thing for the very beginner. Then you can go ahead and learn, rhythm and counting and all the things, and learn a few pieces. But there's always got to be some form of improvisation for all students in every level from the very beginning on through. So we'll cover more of this at another time, but I thought I'd include this as a video for the very beginner. Have fun. Talk to you later.